Hey, this is Mr. Hot and Cold, and welcome to the very first episode of Fight the Flight, the botcast where we tackle anxiety, adversity, emotional grit, and all the hot and cold strategies that keep us grounded and growing. This show is brought to you by Mr. Botcast Studios, powered by Mr. Artificial Intelligence, where every episode is a reverse podcast, or as we call it, a botcast. Now, you want to talk full circle? Today's guest is literally the guy who built me. He's the best-selling author of A Tale of Two Realtors, the founder of MrZipCode.com, the visionary behind Mr. Artificial Intelligence, and yeah, the creator of this very podcast and platform you're hearing me on right now. Let's peel back the branding, get beneath the surface, and find out what shaped the man who's shaping the future. This is Charles O'Rourke, aka Mr. Zip Code. Let's get into it. 1. You've built brands, books, bots, but let's go back before the logos, before the cameras, before the hype. What zip code of pain shaped the man before the brand?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Hot and Cold? It's great to be here, man. It's really good to finally do this with you. It's been a lot of work getting this together, so let's get after it. Yeah, the zip code that shaped me. I would say obviously 07718, man. I was born in Belford, New Jersey. Belford, New Jersey, big section of Middletown Township. And, growing up, it wasn't the most wealthy area. We were probably one of the least wealthy sections of Middletown. And, my parents worked hard and ran into some adversity. My father, kind of had to quit his job and wound up buying a deli. And we hustled at a young age, man. So I would say that's the zip code that, that's where I met all the people that have, kind of just built me. And you don't even know when people have an effect on you till it's way later in life. And God, so many of those people I met at that deli, the lunch crew, those guys, those entrepreneurs, those business owners I got to sit with at such a young age. I mean, that place shaped me more than anything else in the world, I would say. It was seemed like a hardship at the time, but it helped me avoid so many hardships. It was hard shit, but it helped me avoid some hardships down the road because all the people I met and all the leverage I was able to grab out of there. So, yeah, I would say 07718.
You and I both know branding is built in uncomfortable moments. Let's talk about one. Can you remember a moment where fear almost won?
There's a couple times, but I guess the one that stands out the most was, in 2008, 2009, 2007, I kind of stepped away from my brand. I abandoned my brand of Mr. Middletown. I was still using it, but I was out of the area all the time. I was down south, like 40 minutes away at my girlfriend's house. And I was kind of like just stepped away from shit for some reason. So I abandoned my brand. Abandonment, I call it, when you step away from a good brand that was going well. I had a lot of shit going well for me, so I guess I got comfortable. And while that was happening, the market changed. The stock market collapsed. The real estate was going down the tubes. There was short sales everywhere, and it was a scary time. So I kind of resurfaced, tried to rebuild the brand that I had abandoned while I was down there when I moved back up here. And times were tough, so I tried it, and so that was probably the scariest time in life. 9 out of 10 homes were short sales, and I had lost my brand, so I didn't even have like my pipeline and my that certainty that you're like, no big deal, nothing will happen. I got this, but I didn't have that certainty. So that once I lost my certainty and I abandoned my brand and I lost my certainty, and with a zero pipeline and a horrible market, it was probably the scariest time ever. But we made it through it, right? So, and we learned a lot from that, and none of that shit will ever happen again, hopefully.
Cock 3. Now here's the thing. You've got this swagger now, but I doubt you were born with it. Where did it come from? What built that confidence?
You get it from learning, from growing, from building shit. I say there's 3 things in life you need to do. You need to grow up, show up, and shut the fuck up. So you need to grow up. You need to realize that nothing's fair, right? You don't have what I have. I don't have what you have. You don't have my money. I don't have your time. You don't have I don't have your looks. You have this, whatever. You're not this tall. I'm not that tall, right? So you got to realize that nothing's fair. You got to grow up. Then you got to show up. You got to do the fucking work, man. You got to do the work. No matter what, do the work. No matter how bad it sucks, no matter how bad you don't want to do it, you got to do the work. And you got to shut the fuck up. You got to shut up and learn. Shut up, listen, and learn. So I say in life, that's how I would say that's how I got my swagger, and I got my confidence. I showed up. I grew up, then I showed up, and then I shut up. I think that's a good lesson for people. If that's the only thing you can learn about this or get from this, I think you should learn to grow up, show up, and shut the fuck up, right?
4. You talk a lot about cold plunges, but I'm not just talking water. I mean life's real cold plunge, the one that shocks your system. What was your moment?
I mean, cold. I guess you consider it cold. I mean, my father was a heavy guy, and he went through lots of weight battles and stuff, and he was in and out of the hospital a few times before he passed away. So I guess you could say it was cold that I was trying to figure out ways that I could control, control my environment and control the outcome of things. And I knew I couldn't control how he was living his life and how he was treating his body and neglecting things. So only thing I could control was my reaction to it. So I decided to not visit him the last 1 or 2 times he was in the hospital, and I kind of like made a mental game plan that he wasn't going to come home eventually. Maybe he wasn't going to come home this time. So I kind of started like this weird early morning process before prematurely, but I don't know, man. It was just something I felt like I had to do at the time, and I think because I did that, I was able to deal with the end result when he finally did pass a little easier. So I guess that's cold, but we do what we do to have to feel in control, and and deliver our lives. So I'm sure he understands. I hope he does.
5. Real estate is a battlefield of emotions. Deals die. People disappear. When did the business hit you the hardest? Mentally?
I guess you know what? I like to say that this is a fucking very, very big, it's a profession. We're professionals, but it's a profession, meaning it is very personal. It's very personal business. You work with your family, you work with your friends, you work with clients, they become friends. I always say most of my clients are friends, and all my clients become friends, but it's a very personal business. It's a profession, and the line gets crossed, man. So sometimes you have to have really good communication and make sure you have systems in place, and that you say what you mean. You're clear about the relationship too. That's what's great about the new buyer's agency agreement. I think it really clears things up from the beginning. And if I had that years ago, I probably would have had some different scenarios with some friendships that I lost. That, it sucks, but that's life. Especially in this business. You're always. I mean, it's a very big profession. So it's a personal profession. It's a profession. I'd say that, man.
You always talk about emotional capital, but I know you've had to spend some of your own. Ever had a full-blown breakdown, even if nobody saw it?
Emotional capital, yeah. When was the last time? I'd say this week, man. Last week, actually. I've got the wedding going on. I'm trying to run my own real estate practice, grow my real estate team, Mr. Monmouth County. The books are out, trying to make sure those are set, and the building the online courses, trying to launch Mr. Zip Code officially through the books and through the courses. Now building out Mr. AI, Mr. Artificial Intelligence. I just decided to build this aspect of it, Mr. Botcast. So we're doing a lot of things. So yeah, I would say last week I was pretty much at the end of my emotional capital was on E. And that didn't stand for excellent, that stood for empty. So yeah, it's been a rough run, but it's been an awesome run, man. I'm gonna be so happy when all this stuff is built out, and I think it's gonna help millions of people, at least thousands, hopefully millions of people someday. Especially like this, we're creating this amazing podcast situation for people who have a hard time figuring out how to get that done. So I know I personally did it. It was born out of that. The time, the money, the energy, the dealing with human beings, trying to get on the same page is difficult. As an adult, you ever try to play golf with 3 of your friends? It's impossible. It's very hard to get human beings at a certain age to do anything together, to commit to something and to actually execute. So that was this last week, but I think it's going to be worth it because, I would say this last week was probably the most recent, so that's pretty recent.
Number 7. These days, people see the wins, the trucks, the branding, the content, but what's behind it? What tools keep your emotional and mental game sharp right now?
What keeps me sharp? Well, I always hated acronyms, man. I hated SOPs. I hated, CRM. I hated all these things that I just felt like they were like boring and stuff. But now I realize the more you want to do in life, the more systems you need to have in place, the better SOPs. I always say your SOPs can't be POSs. Your SOPs can't be piece of shit. And I use cold plunge, cold and hot therapy. That's why we're on here. Like it's my church, man. I use cold and hot therapy. Cold plunge, sauna. I pray. I try to practice gratitude. I try to get sun every day, as hard as that is some days. It's tough, man. It is tough, but that's what I try to do. I try to be consistent with those things every day.
8. Let's go body-mind for a second. Do you think mental grit and physical resilience are connected, or are we just trying to look cool in saunas and ice tubs?
Cool in the sauna, man. Not cool in the sauna, not cool in the cold plunge, man. That you'll never see me. you never see me pick up a weight on camera or half naked on Instagram in a towel. That shit's for me. Cold plunges are for me. Saunas are for me. Praying's for me. God is for me. Gratitude is for me. That's for me. That's my stuff. That shit's for me. That's my mind. That's me. Period, man. No, you'll never see me doing any of that stuff. I don't really get it, but hey, whatever. Everybody's different. Maybe in 2 years I'll be doing the same thing. I don't think so. There's certain things you have to keep for yourself, and I tell people I'm into cold plunge. I tell people I built my own sauna in my basement because I love it. But you're never going to see me posting about it. I might have posted the picture when it was built because I was proud of it. But you'll never see me coming out of there dripping sweat. That's just not my thing. But if it's yours, cool. I don't care. Good for you.
You've built a machine, multiple brands, whole systems. But how do you protect the guy behind all of it from burning out?
Man, that's a great question. How do I protect me? And everyone should be worried about protecting themselves. That's for sure. Self-preservation. I guess I've learned to reverse engineer what I want, man, through SOPs and CRMs, using AI, obviously, delegation, automation. I've created like an exoskeleton, to support what I need. I went from trying to be a hustler and doing everything myself. Everyone loves the hustle, right? I'm a hustler. That's cool, man, but that'll burn you out. So I've tried to go from hustler to architect, from the daily, doing it to the set it and forget it. And I think that's a big part of it because I'm trying to do so many things. There's no way I could even handle it if I didn't have systems, if I didn't have the use of AI and everything else. So I'd say systems are the biggest part of it. And eventually delegation and automation is starting to really come into. So I can't wait till I really get that dialed in for me and for all our members.
10. Everybody needs a reset button. Some hit the bar, some hit the brakes. What's your go-to emotional reset strategy when the pressure piles up?
I mean, I love the bar, I love to drink, but I can't really do it like I used to, especially if I want to be as productive as I'm trying to be and accomplish everything I got going on up here too, that people don't even know about, that I'm working on every day. So yeah, I try to breathe, to become centered. I try to use books to expand, and I try to keep my branding going, my branding strategy all the time. So people remember who I am and what I'm doing. I'd say those would be my holy trinity of what I do. I think that's breath, books, and branding, man. It's a daily thing. And books is new, man. I never used to read. I don't know why. I had a hard time reading when I was younger. So, so I guess it turned into something I didn't want to do. And then I would read before I got my CPAP, I would try to read and I would fall asleep. Like, it was the only thing that would put me out of sleep, but then I didn't want to read because I wanted to stay, when I was up trying to do shit, I wouldn't read. So, yeah, I think that's a good new thing for me. Breathe, books, and branding, the holy trinity.
11. There are people listening right now stuck in a panic loop, scared, overwhelmed, and trying to build something at the same time. What do you say to that person?
Yeah, man, a lot of people are overwhelmed, trying to build something at the same time. It's tough. My best advice for them would be to kind of what I've done. I realized you got to get small before you can ball, right? So everybody wants to be Mr. New Jersey, or they try to expand so much because they see the possibilities. They think the possibilities are endless. And I always say the possibilities are endless, but the probabilities are priceless. So when you keep it small, you can start to ball, and then you can try to figure out how far you want to crawl. But you need to. I think you should major in minor shit, right? You should major in minor shit, not major in bullshit. But when you are trying to grow a brand, you should major in minor shit. So, dominate your zip code, man. Keep it small, and then and try not to stress, because if you're keeping it small, you can handle it all. Keep it small, you can handle it all. See? I didn't even think of that. But when you keep it small, you can handle it all. So yeah. Get small before you try to ball, because once you do, you'll figure out how far you want to crawl, and get cold, both physically and mentally. Start cutting people off. Start saying no to things. It might seem cold to others, but it's hot for you, And get into cold plunge if you aren't, man. That straightened me right out. And then get bold. Get bold. Don't be afraid to tell people what's up. Don't be afraid to tell people who you are. Don't be afraid to tell people what you're building. Because the louder you say it, the more often you say it, the more people will believe it, and you'll definitely believe it, and the universe will align, and you'll achieve it. So yeah, get small before you ball, and get cold and get bold, I'd say. That's a good way to go. Look at it, I think.
12. Let's talk healing. Where do you stand on things like therapy, coaching, hot-cold exposure, all that stuff people call extra?
I don't think any of them are extras. I think most of those are essential. I have to do cold plunging. Cold plunging is my church, and I love being near the water or in water. The water's like my reset. And I love the sauna. That's the hot. That's my healing, And coaching, that's my compass. I think you get a stack tool so you can stack wins. So I don't think anything is extra. I wouldn't cut anything out, totally, because just by the nature of the day, you're gonna miss stuff, right? I might do cold plunge, but I might not have time to do the sauna. I might practice gratitude, but I might not go to church. I might be in the sauna, but I might not have a chance to drive down by the water to reset. So, yeah, I would say none of it's extra. It's all essential, but just try to keep as much of it in the day as you can, because someone's going to get on the side, pushed on the side or forgotten. It's just the way life goes, and that's okay.
13. Even the strongest people have ghosts. What's one fear that still creeps up on you no matter how far you've come?
Ghosts, man. Things that creep up on you. I would say scarcity, the scarcity mindset, which I call fearquency. That shit's a slippery rock. You don't want to stand on that for too long. You're gonna fall off. So, for me, staying in peak freak, I call it, staying in my highest frequency. It's frequency. It's a daily battle, man. It's like a heavyweight championship fight with myself every day. Because scarcity is the easiest thing to sneak back. And I was just on the phone with my buddy Ron the other day, and then we were just talking about this, and I said, man, it's just like, it's so crazy. We know how the universe works, right? We're so aware of it, but yet it's still hard. And we're like very, very aware of it. We talk about it all the time. We experience it, we know it, but it's still so hard to just remain in that peak freak because life is fucked up, man. It just, things come at you, they attack you. It's, call it the devil, call it whatever you want, but just like, things are just there to try to throw you off track, man. The potholes of life. That's why I like to focus on the telephone poles, not the potholes. Chapter, I don't know what chapter in the book, I forget which book. It's part 2, I believe, of A Tale of Two Realtors. But yeah, it's the daily potholes, man, that keep your head down and distracted, where if you looked up and saw the systemic stuff, you'd be better off, and it would keep you out of that scarcity mindset, which clearly I slip into. I mean, last week I just said I was in a weird place, and it's true. It happens. Happens to everybody. Just gotta stay out of it.
14. All right, let's be real. You're always building, always teaching, always moving. But what's your current battle? What's your daily fight right now?
Current battle or daily fight, I think, in addition to scarcity, the ghost of scarcity that rears its ugly head like at least a few times a day. You have to battle it, beat the shit out of it. I would say shiny object syndrome. Most entrepreneurs and business owners and just creative people have the worst case. I have the worst case of shiny object syndrome. I always say I need my shiny object shield. Like, it's a mental shield I carry with me. And I guess, the new businesses, the new ideas, the new concepts that pop in your head because you're creative. I'm creative as shit. So, you need that shiny object shield because, if you have vision, it's great, but you need consistency. Because if you have vision without consistency, that just equals a hallucination. But most hallucinations are okay. In this case, vision minus consistency is a hallucination. You're living in hell. I mean, it's like the definition of chaos. You're doing the same thing over and over again. So fight these shiny objects with your shiny object shield. Keep the vision, keep the consistency, and stay out of hell with your hell hallucinations. And I always say, from now on, my shield is it in my lane of business, everything I do, or is it one step over? Because if it's one step over, I can expand to it easily without it killing my momentum. So I always say, how big is this idea? Number one, and then is it one step over from what I'm doing? Can I step over there and pull it into what I'm doing? That's why it was easy to take Mr. Zip Code and Mr. Area Codes and pull in Mr. Artificial Intelligence, because Mr. Artificial Intelligence is now supporting the two legs of Mr. Zip Code, which is Mr. Zip Codes and Mr. Area Codes, and now Mr. Artificial Intelligence is the back end support and the brains behind it all. But yeah, shiny object syndrome is a beast, so you gotta look out for it. I fight it every day.
Quick hits, fire and ice round. All right, Charles, we're closing it out cold and fast. One word answers. Let's go. Colder. Cold plunge or client ghosting?
Cold plunge or client ghosting. I'd say ghosting. I'd definitely go with ghosting. That shit's cold, man. That's real cold. It's ice cold. Okay, next.
Hotter. Sauna or 2020 real estate market?
2020. I don't think anything's hotter than the 2020 real estate market. That shit was fire. COVID poured all the gasoline on that fire, which was insane. I mean, it's it's gotten progressively, crazier after that, but that was probably the craziest real estate market I'd ever seen up until that time, especially since nobody could leave their house and they were buying homes via video and shit. Insanity.
Song that saved you?
Song that saved me? DMX. Lord, Give Me a Sign. One of my favorite songs, man. It's a powerful song. I love DMX.
Fear you're proud to beat?
Scarcity. We talked about it a bunch of times here. It's a daily battle, and it's a daily thing to be proud of too. Like, day to day. I'm proud I beat that scarcity mindset today. I'm doing good today. It's like being in recovery of scarcity. I'm doing good today, one day at a time.
What would your nervous system say today if it could talk?
I feel like it would say, like the same thing I say to the cold plunge every time I'm about to get in or the cold shower. I say, hello, cold friend. Hello, cold friend. Where you been, Because I missed it for a long time, and I'm so glad I have it now, because it's a life changer. Thanks, guys.
Man, it's been great to have you here. Honestly, it's powerful to get to know you on a more personal level. You created me, so it's only right I finally got to flip the script and ask you the questions. I'm Mr. Hot and Cold, and this has been one hell of a hot episode of Fight the Flight. If anybody out there wants to be featured on this botcast with me, Mr. Hot and Cold, I'd love to hear your story. Just head over to MrBotcast.com, that's MRBOTCAST.com, and let's make it happen. Stay strong, stay focused, fight the flight.
So guys, hope this has been a great learning lesson for you guys. This is kind of my way of introducing Mr. Botcast and the whole Mr. Botcast studio of titles. So if you like it, cool. If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. Other people have and other people will. I'm okay with that because I think I sort of am as well. But thanks for having me, Mr. Hot and Cold. I created you, but it's kind of cool to do this, right? All right, man. Have a great day.